Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be building 3 clone outposts on 3 of the famous Lego base plates. So without any further ado, let's get started. The first clone outpost that I'm going to be building is going to be based on a 16x16 base plate, and the planet that I'm going to be building the mock based around is Geonosis. Since Geonosis doesn't have to be super detailed and is basically just a flat desert, I thought it would be best to put it on the smallest base plate since I didn't have to put so much detailing and take up a whole bunch of space. So what I'm going to have is a little clone area with an outpost as well as just like a net over top for some shelter from the heat of the sun for the clone troopers. This took me entirely too long to figure out because this would be the first thing that I'm using it in a mock with, but eventually I kind of figured it out, but I didn't have the pieces to cover it entirely, so I just left it with little plates on the 4 corners on the outside. So this is the first mock done. The 16x16 base plate is completely finished. It is completely based around Geonosis and a clone outpost based on that. Now what we have to do next is build our mock on the 32x32 stud base plate. The second outpost that I'm going to be building is going to be based around snow. No particular planet I'm going to be basing this mock off, so I guess it's up to your imagination what planet this is based on. For the clone troopers on this mock, I'm going to have the bodies and legs of 501st clone troopers, and then just put some snow trooper helmets on top of the clone troopers. Then I'm also going to be making them little white backpacks for the back of their clone bodies. In the middle of the mock, I'm going to have a little indent in the snow to where either speeders or just big tanks have been running through for the past couple days, as well as some officers and clone troopers walking through it. I also have to add some computers and bins into the mock because this wouldn't be a Star Wars outpost without some random computers and bins that probably do nothing. As well as I just had to add a little bit more of details into the snow and we're done with the mock. So for this mock, I was really happy with how it turned out. I even added some clone troopers huddling around a little lantern for some heat, which is by far my favorite detail that's in this mock. The last mock that I'm going to be building for this challenge video is going to be on a 48x48 gray large base plate. Unlike the last mock though, this mock is going to be based off of an actual planet in Star Wars. This planet being Umbara. But instead of doing a 501st themed mock, I'm going to be doing a 212 themed mock for Umbara. Because I feel like when you first think of Umbara, the first clone legion that you're probably thinking of is the 501st. So instead of being basic and just building a 501st mock, I'm going to be going with the 212. I'm going to be building a little outpost in the middle of the mock as well as just some surrounding terrain around the outpost. So after adding a whole bunch of details to the terrain as well as including 1x1 trans red studs to the bottom of the ground, the next thing I have to do is adding some trees on Umbara. I'm next going to be adding some details into the outpost, and then the last thing that I have to do is just add the minifigures, which I'm going to be placing them like they just captured a sector on Umbara and they're dealing with some Umbaran prisoners. Now that the mock is completely finished and I'm completely done with building in this challenge video, I can definitely say that the Umbaran mock was definitely my favorite. Although it was on the biggest base plate, I definitely think the story behind it was amazing, as well as seeing just the 212th on Umbara is something that looks really cool. As well as this is basically the only mock that I really built a base. But this one definitely is going to be my favorite mock today. So I just completed all 3 of the clone outposts. This is the 16x16 base plate featured on Geonosis. This is the 32x32 base plate featured on just any snowy planet that the clones have fought on, and as well as Umbara, which is the 48x48 large gray base plate. So that's gonna wrap up this video here. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.